The miracle fish. Lake Victoria, the second largest lake in the world, contains some extremely large fish. One type of fish found there, known as Nile perch, can grow to 200 kilograms, though its average size is 2 to 4 kilograms. But Nile perch weren't always found in Lake Victoria. Until the 1980s, the most common fish in Lake Victoria were cichlids, small freshwater fish about 5 to 10 centimeters long. If you've ever seen aquarium fish, such as Oscars, Jack Dempsey's, or freshwater angelfish, you've seen a cichlid. Lake Victoria's cichlids interest ecologists, scientists who study relationships between organisms and environments, because there are so many species of these fish. Although they all belong to the same scientific family, at one time there were over 300 different species of cichlids in Lake Victoria. Almost 99% of those species cannot be found anywhere else in the world. Look at these pictures. To the left is a picture of Nile perch caught in Lake Victoria. To the right is a picture of a cichlid that was commonly found in Lake Victoria. By the late 1950s, the British government, which ruled this part of Africa at that time, grew concerned that the fish species that commercial fishers relied on were being overfished. As a result, the British government decided to introduce new fish species, such as Nile perch, into the lake. They wanted to increase the amount of fish that was available to catch and sell so that people could earn money. Ecologists were opposed to this idea. They worried that the introduction of Nile perch, which had no natural enemies within the lake, would negatively affect the lake's ecosystem. Before a final decision could be made, Nile perch were secretly added into the lake. Eventually, even more Nile perch were deliberately added by the government in the early 1960s. During the 1960s and 1970s, before there were a lot of Nile perch in the lake, fishers caught about 100,000 metric tons of fish, including cichlids, each year. A metric ton, also called a ton, is 1,000 kilograms. By 1989, the total catch of fish from Lake Victoria had increased to 300,000 metric tons, most of it Nile perch and almost none of it cichlids. Today, each of the three countries surrounding the lake, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, sells extra fish to other countries. In the graphs below, you can see how the amounts of Nile perch caught has changed since 1976, and how the percentage of cichlids caught has changed over time. This graph is called Amount of Nile perch caught in Lake Victoria from 1976 to 2014. On the y-axis, we have measurements of the amount of Nile perch caught in metric tons, and on the x-axis, we have the year. This graph is called Cichlids and Nile perch caught by commercial fisheries on Lake Victoria in Kenya. On the y-axis, we have percentage of catch, and on the x-axis, we have the year. The orange line shows percentage of catch that was Nile perch, and the green line graph shows the percentage of fish that came from the cichlid family. Besides increasing the amount of fish available for the commercial fishery, there may have been other consequences of introducing Nile perch into the lake. Because Nile perch are large and eat other fish, they are believed to have caused the extinction of as many as 200 species of cichlids. The populations of other types of fish, including catfish and lungfish, have also declined. Many ecologists are upset that their predictions have come true. Some of the cichlids that have become extinct ate algae. With their extinction, the amount of algae in the lake has increased fivefold. As they break down the dying algae, decomposers use up a lot of oxygen, making it difficult for other tiny plants and animals to survive in the lake. Today, many of the deeper parts of the lake are considered dead because they do not contain much living matter. However, many of the original goals have been met. In 1979, there were 16,000 fishers along the Kenyan shores of the lake. In 1993, there were 82,300 fishers, and today there are over 200,000 fishers. Many people are now employed by companies that process and sell Nile perch overseas. Over time, these fish have brought more money into the African countries surrounding the lake. Some local people who now eat Nile perch as part of their diet, consider Nile perch a miracle fish. However, other local people, especially the poorest people, do not have enough to eat because there are not enough cichlids in Lake Victoria for these people to catch with nets. Additionally, these people cannot afford to buy the Nile perch from the big commercial fisheries. Some ecologists wonder how long the current situation can last. Nile perch are predators. As populations of other fish decline, the Nile perch's food sources are declining. The stomachs of some large Nile perch have been found to contain smaller juvenile Nile perch. The metric tons of Nile perch caught has decreased after the peak in 1990. In the table below, you can see that the catch per unit effort has gone down. This means that it takes more work to catch each fish. That is, catching more fish requires more fishers, more boats, and more time. What will happen to the population of Nile perch if their food supply decreases even further? Will the Nile perch population be overfished like the fish populations before it? Only time will tell.